Where can you park a food truck for free? And where can I park my food truck overnight? These are two super important questions if you are just starting your food truck business or you are already a food truck owner and you're looking to figure out a better way or even a less expensive way of parking your food truck, whether it be overnight or just throughout the week as you need it for different events. So welcome to Food Truck Freaks. We are YouTube's premier food truck entrepreneur channel. It is Damian Roberti and founder, CEO of Marketing Food Online, which is our other YouTube channels here. We are not new to YouTube. We've got nearly 100,000 subscribers on our other channels for food entrepreneurs, and we decided to start a food truck channel because we've had so many fantastic subscribers ask questions about the food truck industry on Marketing Food Online. So this channel is all dedicated to food trucks and helping you get one started, and not only do that, but grow it and help you create multiple streams of income with your food truck. So in this video, we're going to cover where can you park a food truck for free. This is a great question because in a lot of cities and counties, you end up having to either pay substantially to actually have your truck parked in a specific area legally. And of course, in a lot of places, you can do it if you are attached to a commissary kitchen or commercial kitchen. So we'll get to that in just a minute. So let's dive into the first thing. So parking for food trucks at breweries. So there's a huge increase in those microbreweries that pop up all over the country. And because most food trucks cannot sell alcohol and actually beer, do not automatically serve food, breweries and food trucks are natural collaborators, right? So while breweries realize that the consumers stay longer if they have an order of a beer and they end up eating more, most of the time food trucks show up at breweries and they love to do business and swap it out with the actual brew shop. So many of these micro brews that you see popping up everywhere, many of them allow food trucks. We actually have one here in Atlanta, several of them, quite a few of them as a matter of fact, in Atlanta that have these food trucks parked almost every single day outside right on the property there. Breweries provide a space for food trucks on a rolling or a permanent basis. So parking your food truck at a brewery on a regular basis allows you to go to other areas and attend more events. So you can create a loyal and steady consumer base actually from these breweries, believe it or not, which is a great thing to tap into. If you're a constant presence at the brewery, you actually can drum up quite a bit of business, and people who are regulars who are expecting you like either Fridays and Saturdays on the weekends or maybe certain nights throughout the week. So being the official quote-unquote food truck of the brewery may even allow you to park your food truck for free in a secure location at the brewery overnight. That's something you might want to think about as well. Of course, if the city and county are okay with that, and of course the owners of the brewery, let them know and ask them. That might be, first off, the one great place to park for free and even overnight. So make a distinctive beer batter for your fried foods utilizing the brew's tap list. That's something that you can do as well. Incorporating the actual brew's beers or the line of beers that they make into your actual mix of product is something that would be beneficial for both of you. Now, next up, parking your food truck at college or university campuses. So food trucks can park on college campuses for a variety of reasons, actually, including different events in the university and college. College campuses are reconsidering, actually, their eating offerings as consumers want more fast, convenient, and students are looking for something they can grab and go. So check with local universities and colleges in the area in which you live, because many of them actually look forward to having something like that, a variety to offer their students. And of course, any campus that's got thousands or even tens of thousands of students daily, you could drum up a serious amount of business for the college or the university and yourself, of course. So basically what happens now is a lot of college campuses have a rotating food truck lineup, so students may eat between courses and campuses throughout the area as well, making it easy for them to kind of grab and go. Some actual universities allow food trucks to park on their campuses permanently and include them in their meal plans, as a matter of fact. There's some actually from Florida. I lived in Florida for quite some time, and there was a local community college that had a ton of food trucks lined up outside in the parking lot for the community college students. So definitely look into the local universities for parking. Now, next up is farmers market parking for food trucks. So parking at a farmers market, if your food truck provides locally produced organic produce or healthy alternatives, a farmer's market may be a great place to start as well. More than just places to buy groceries, they've actually turned into and transitioned to social gathering areas. They even have artisan fairs, live music, and sometimes art festivals. So farmers markets are another place that you may be able to actually create and drum up a relationship with, and not throughout the day you're going to be operating your food truck, and at night have the ability to park it and leave it there. All right, so next up we have parking the food truck in a food truck park. Now, there's a lot of cities, which include Austin, Texas, it has one, Portland, Oregon, LA, Los Angeles, California has got them too, where they actually have these food truck parks where you can literally park your vehicle there and leave it. Or you're going to operate throughout the day, and at night, everybody basically leaves their truck there and locks it up. And it's in basically kind of a fairgrounds or a large space of open land. Many of them have fences and even security around them as well. So leaving there is a great idea, even for safety reasons as well. But check into the food truck parks. Almost every city now has one throughout the U.S. Because the food truck industry has blown up and become such a big popular thing. So make sure you check into that as well. Now, although food truck parks have daily prices, renting a parking place in the food truck park on a month-to-month basis is actually going to be a better option. So you might want to look at that. They may offer two different types of ways to park. You can rent it by day for just a specific event, or you can rent it by a month-to-month basis, which is even cheaper, and you have one steady spot where you can actually leave your food truck. So basically, because consumers typically purchase and share things from various food trucks, renting space at a food truck park helps you to stay within your expertise as well. Keep that in mind. That food truck is basically attracting people who want to be there because of the food trucks. So you're getting a clientele who really want your food products. That's something you may not have thought of before. Now, can I park a food truck at home? Now, the thing with this is the city and county would need to have approval or thumbs up or thumbs down. Most commercial vehicles, commercial trucks, if it's a tow truck, for instance, if it's a bulldozer or something like that, and even including a food truck based on the size of it, you will not be able to allow to be doing that in a residential area because of zoning purposes. Now, the other thing you need to think of is your HOA. If you have a homeowners association within a neighborhood or where you live in your residency, you need to make sure you check with them because they can fine you for that. But if they're okay with it and you can park a food truck and you have a driveway that's potentially big enough to handle that, and that's okay with the city, county ordinances and laws, then do that, because that's an even better place because it's free 100%. And it's right there at your home. So you can basically just grab your truck and get to your next event, go to your commissary kitchen, get prepped and good to go. So food trucks, on the other hand, can park in residential neighborhoods if they've been invited by the apartment complex or the homeowners association in most cities. That's another thing you can think of. If you're looking for a place to kind of fill the gaps in, if you don't have a lot of events locally, check and see with certain neighborhoods where you may be able on the weekend park in a cul-de-sac or park at the entrance or the exit of a neighborhood, and you have no idea the amount of customers you could potentially drum up. There's a lot of neighborhoods that have basketball courts or gyms or tennis courts or things of that sort. So it's a very active community. Check with those communities to see about parking your food truck there and having the ability to potentially leave it at home. So you got to keep in mind, as we mentioned before, a lot of homeowners association fees, apartment complexes and HOAs, they kind of enjoy having a rotating variety of food trucks in the area. So that's something that may be inviting for them. Check with them first to make sure that you can. Now, next up, this is something that's really unique, and I see it a lot in Atlanta, is food trucks that park at gas stations. Now, this might be a very profitable site if the gas station agrees to let you park your food truck on their property to attract hungry travelers. You know, you've got truck drivers, people coming in for gas to fill up. A lot of gas stations don't necessarily offer food per se. They have a lot of snacks, but not necessarily food. I have seen nonstop all over Atlanta, there are gas stations filled with food trucks. And sometimes what happens is that when you ask the owner of the actual gas station, hey, I'll give you like 5% or 10% of what I'm selling, or is there a fee? Maybe they're just going to charge you a flat fee to do it. But gas stations are big time travel in and out, and you actually get a lot of non-local people as well. So keep that in mind. You may end up having a lot of travelers who are just coming through, and if you've got tacos or something they can grab and go, a hamburger or fries or something, that makes a lot of sense for people to stop and eat with you at your food truck. So next up, hospitals, medical facilities, and hospitals. It may be highly profitable and actually mutually advantageous actually to park a food truck in a hospital campus. So you got to keep in mind there are hundreds, if not thousands, of hospitals all over the U.S. Many of them will be fine with you parking out there because they are getting a lot of visitors who may be coming to the hospital, people who get admitted, and they come to see their family members, and they want to grab something on the way out. A lot of hospitals do have cafeterias. I do understand that. But you definitely want to make sure that you are tapping into that existing base there. Okay, so next up, how to get your food truck in a great parking spot. So when you get to your event, if you have time, if you're not able to get there with your truck when you're supposed to open up a designated time frame, make sure you send someone ahead to kind of get a good spot in the food truck park if they're not going to hand out specific spots. Many food truck parks will designate and have you set up for that. So you want to make sure that you get a great spot. So when you attend one of these events or even a food truck festival, make sure that you're either designated a specific spot to park your truck, or you're going to send somebody ahead to secure a specific location. Parking for food trucks during the day can be expensive. So I've actually calculated, come up with a kind of an average cost of parking your food truck in several different areas. Now, bear in mind the cost will vary based upon the city and county, but here's what we've come up with. So food truck parking costs, depending on the city, monthly food truck park leasing charges range about between $500 to potentially $1,000. That's on a monthly basis, okay? While food truck parks have daily fees, it's going to be more expensive than monthly leases if you actually get it by the month. So see if you can park by the month. Next up, fees for the food truck events. So when you go to a food truck event or any event where you're taking the food truck, you may anticipate to pay between $75 to even $100 per day for that particular parking fee. Okay, now these fees are going to be based upon the event itself and who's ever operating and running the event. But it can go up to about $100 a day. Or in some cases, what they'll even do is take a percentage of sales instead of a flat fee. Hey, Damien, you know what? We actually charge 5%, 10%, or 12% of what you make. That's the fee for parking, or a combination of both. So keep that in mind. Food truck parking fees on a private land. This is another way to park. If you have an agreement with a private landowner and they're okay with it, you need to work that out with them. And those fees can be a lot less because it just may be that a guy has an extra acre or two of land and he's okay with you just parking your truck there. That's something you can check into. If you have someone in the area who's got a large plot of land, or a friend of yours you may know that's got land, ask them about parking there. Okay, in many cases, the city and county will be okay with that because those houses are not necessarily in neighborhoods. If a guy has a house, he's got 2 or 3 acres, normally neighborhoods are not going to have to go through HOA or any other permissions, and you'll be okay to do that. Next up, parking a food truck in storage. Yes, believe it or not, there's gigantic warehouses set up to park all kinds of commercial vehicles, not just food trucks, but you'll be inside an enclosed warehouse space. In some cases, it's either temperature controlled or not, but it will give you an opportunity to securely lock your food truck up in a facility either overnight or weekly or monthly. Again, try to get a monthly lease or rent agreement when you want to do one of these, because the storage unit itself is going to be your primary location where you'll store the truck. Lastly, commissary and commercial kitchens. Now, in a lot of states, believe it or not, you will need to actually have a commercial kitchen attached to your food truck. Now, those are not only places where you can prep and make food and take out your dirty water for the day, your trash after an event, clean up your food truck, and kind of wrap the day up there at the commissary kitchen or commercial kitchen, but you're going to have the ability to tap into the parking lot to park your food truck there. That's actually normally why the city and county will require you not only to do your food prep there, but to make sure that you just store your truck there. And a lot of these commercial kitchens and commissary kitchens will have a secured up gate, or they'll have a secured section within the parking lot that'll allow you to leave your truck there safely overnight with, security cameras and such. So these are a few different places where you can park your food truck for free potentially, or where you can park your food truck overnight as well. So if you guys have questions about that, please let us know down below. If you are a food truck operator and you're parking your food truck overnight someplace, give us some of your experience, because we have a lot of new subscribers who are just getting into the food truck industry and the food truck business. And we will see you guys on our next video.